Good evening. It's Wednesday, the 3rd of May, and it's about 6 p.m. Amazon delivered the replacement heating element very quickly. Next day, $49.99. Bargain, I thought. We'll see how long it lasts. Couldn't do it yesterday. Too much stuff going on with the real job. But tonight, I've got a little bit of spare time. Elliot's just gone out, he's doing the deliveries for me tonight, so I don't have to do that, which means I can spend a bit of time here. So, first thing we've got to do, drain this down. You might not be able to see on the camera, but the water level is about here, which is somewhere in the region of 420 litres. Slightly too much to go in there. So I'm going to just connect some pipe work up to dump the water into the big fermenter, the 1,000 litre fermenter in the corner, where we can keep it. And then once the heating element's in, we'll transfer it back over, fire her up and see what happens. So, conveniently and already set up is the pump, so we can just use that. I was wondering about using the broom pump for this, but I don't need to. So we'll cleaned all these the other day, get one hose on there. Might just reach, but I need an adapter because the valve on the front of that tank, the one that you see on the right hand side there, is 1.5 inches. And oops, got a drip. Is 1.5 inches RJT, and we need a 1 inch RJT. So I've just got to work out where the hell I've put that now. So on the front of that 1,000 litre tank, the big shiny silver one in the corner there, is a 1.5 inch RJT fitting, same size as that end, but the hose is a 1 inch RJT. So we've got this little reducer, so we put that on first. No we don't. Because we have to have one of them on, otherwise I can't stop the water coming out, can I? I'm too honest with you guys. Most people would have edited that out and said they knew they needed a valve before they put on the reducer. Otherwise, there's no way of keeping the water in the tank once you disconnect the hose. But I'm honest, me. Okay. Hose. Got any hose? Okie dokie, so out of the front of the tank, into that pump, out of that pump, into that hose, through that hose, into there. And then once the water's transferred, we can shut that valve off. And we should have a low enough water level in there, hopefully. Yeah, easily. A low enough water level in there to extract the element with minimum splashing. So it says on my sticker there 450 litres. They were a bit of a guesstimate and it's below that. So if I said 450, the pump should run dry once the tank is drained and we can just stop it. So we'll set 450. It doesn't really matter, does it? Let's just set 500 because I'm going to be here. Set. Oh. Clear. Menu. Start. carefully ensuring that we have opened the valve. And remembering that the pushing water through the outlet, it goes straight up through the hole. So if I have the pump too fast, it's just going to hit the top of the lid. So we just got to keep it nice and steady. Right, let's try again, shall we? Empties?
Yeah.
How many?
They've got 3, don't they?
3?
Yeah.
So it was right. It was right then. Right. I turned the pump on to transfer the water.
Yeah.
Didn't open that valve to push the water in. Yeah. So the pressure's built up that high in the hose. That pipe's blown off and spraying around while I'm filming. Okay, valve is open. Valve is partially open. Open. Start. We're done. So, I'm not sure how to do this now. I think we'll turn it round. So, there's a bit of water going to come out of that, I guess, because maybe not. Ooh! That is not pretty. So, what I didn't tell you is we had a dry burn, a dry fire last week where the water of the tank dropped below the level of the heating element. And I didn't notice it was still switched on. It normally switches off before that point on a timer, and it didn't. But that looks toasty. So let's get that off and get the new one attached. So let's take a peep. Here she is. It's a tri-clamp heating element. If you're not familiar with that, there's no thread where it attaches to the body of the tank. Basically, it goes in, and then there's a little rubber gasket like that, which sits in the seal in between, or in the groove in between the corresponding face, and then these things clamp over. You can do them one-handed if you know what you're doing. I don't. And most of the connections in here are JTs, not these tri-clamps anyway. So I don't really know what I'm looking for. I mean, you get some wear on heating elements, but that looks decidedly blackened to me, just in one place as well. So I think that dry burn that we had a week or two ago has probably seen it off. The reason for the curve is this is super duper long. If you were to open that out, which I won't, but it's very, very long, so there's a low watt density. There's no super hot spots on it, the new one. And that's great for, you know, if you're using it for a mash tun or something at home. These are quite good, these sort of oscillating ones. This replacement one's a straight one, but that's okay, because it's only water. It's not going to make any difference. And the combined length of this one, as you can see, without the curve, this one would be considerably shorter, so it's going to be hotter in places, or hotter per millimeter, per inch, whatever. So let's get that wired up. Alright, so you might notice a bit of water on the floor because I thought while the lid was off and it was empty, we'll clean the debris out the bottom. You don't get a lot, but they're just bits of particles and Camden tablets are thrown in there that have left a bit of residue behind, etc. So that's all out now. It's lovely and clean and shiny inside. If I can find my phone, I'll give you a little peep as to, rather than carrying the tripod over, you will see we are all set. Oh, I have to press record. We are all set and ready to go. Okay, before we pump it back in, I just want to check a few things. This is the recirc loop, so this draws colder water from the bottom up through this little pump and back into the top. I just want to make sure that's all connected and watertight and all the joints are nice and fastened up correctly. That looks okay. And the same at the bottom because I had that one off too, which is all okay. The heating element is in and tightened up. The it's a bit off center, so straighten that up. There you go. That's better. Okay, that's on but not tightened. Let's tighten that up. Okay, the valve is open. Actually, I'm going to close that because we don't want it open. We're going to drop it in the top. And I've not touched anything else there. I've put the temperature sensor back in. That's in there. And this little thermo well. So we are ready to get a bit of water back in, which I am going to need the other pump for now, thinking about it. So we have tank full of water, valve, RJT, down that hose, into the intake on the pump, out of the intake on the pump, up that hose, through the next valve and down my little filling-y thing. Okay, so that's closed, that's open, let's go. Valve open, pump on. So we're basically waiting for the element to be submerged, and we'll check for leaks and drips. We'll get all this water transferred over, then we'll fill the tank to the brim and set the timer. In fact, since it's submerged, I'm just going to get a little test done. It looks nearly done now. I'm watching this through the camera like you, I can't actually see inside the tank. I'm holding my camera over the top. So we are filling nicely. Good bit of water in there. And I am pleased to say, this is set to 72.5. Current water temperature is 33.3 and it's asking for heat. That's the first thing. Second thing, on this timer, I've forced the override, I've turned it on, and everything has stayed on. So no shorts or earth leakages or whatever was firing it off before. So we're back in business, boys and girls. Obviously I don't want to heat the water right now, but knowing that it's going to come on and do its thing on Friday night is perfect, just what I needed. Right, I think we might be out of water. If I just take you over there real quick, you can see the water fizzing off the heating element. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's try to zoom it. Does that work? As the oxygen comes out. So we're definitely in business. So we are just about done. Just waiting for that to get up to that little green felt tip mark there. In fact, no, we'll go a bit higher these days. We go. No, the green mark should be okay. M. That's M for Murgy and not M for Moston. I should really have planned that better, shouldn't I? M for Murgy starts there. There's other marks further down. End of mash, end of sparge, and so on. But anywhere above that M line will be more than enough liquor for the mash and sparge. In fact, we're not doing Moston this weekend, are we? We are doing, I think we're doing Get Lucky, because it seems to be selling everywhere, and I've only got 4 left out of that last batch, or 3 I think now. Right, we're just about there. And we knock off that little valve down there once we're happy with that. I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Water off. Get the lid on. Just check the timer's set. So we're currently 30.8 degrees. Now we've had all the cold, and it's not circulated because I've not had this pump on. So we'll get the pump on. And then we'll check. We're targeting 72.5 degrees. That's okay. It's asking for heat now, but it won't get it because we're not in the range of the timer, which is set for, it's currently Wednesday, 7:15. It's set for Friday, 11 p.m. and it will stay on until Saturday at 1 p.m. where it will click off, unless I click it off in the meantime, which I often do. That's a clock, so that's all good. We're all set, all the valves are off. So it doesn't matter what time I come in on a Saturday morning. Sometimes I'm in here for 5 a.m. The water's just about ready at that point, particularly in the spring and summer. A little bit later, more like 6 or so in the morning on a winter's day, just because the ambient temperature's colder and the tank drops down to 3 or 4 degrees. We're not going to get that low at the moment. It's going to start at around, I guess, well, 31, but by the time Friday comes, that'll probably be ambient 14, 15 degrees. And this week I think is going to be Get Lucky, because it's not just the King's Lock anymore, there's a few other places. So I am done. Only 7:15. Home in time for tea. See you next time, guys.